Welcome to Game Night Tonight. We are excited for today's episode because we're going to be talking about our top 10 strategy games. Of course, my name is Brady Anderson. This is Gibbs with us today, and we have compiled this list based on our top 10 strategy games. Basically, we compiled the list together. I had a lot of the same ones that he did. He had a lot of the same ones I did. We compared and we compiled it to the best of what we collectively would consider our top 10 best strategy games. Now, he's played a ton of games. I've played a ton of games as well, and these are the ones that made the cut.
So you're going to see a lot of repeats probably because the ones that we agree on are obviously going to be a smaller pool than the ones that we, individually love so much. So if you watched our previous videos, some of these may make some comebacks, but that just means better game overall.
So it means you just need to pick it up later.
Thus, the top 10.
So that will bring us to number 10. We want to introduce us to that one.
Little game called Splendor.
All right,
Now,
so we got Splendor.
Splendor, essentially you're building a gym business. You all start off with nothing. You're penniless, and you have to invest in different gyms in order to buy bigger, more expensive gyms later. The one who builds the biggest business at the end wins. It goes in, I believe, 3 stages. This is the expansion. It's the only box we currently still have.
I consolidated it all the way down into this box, so it's still the same game. It just has an expansion to it, hence why, we love it too.
This purist over here, or lack thereof, doesn't know how to keep everything.
That's how it is.
Anyway, fantastic game. Played it dozens of times. It's a really good group game because you can be talking whilst one person is making their move, and it doesn't require a whole ton of focus, really.
Not really.
It's more of a numbers counting game.
Mm-hmm.
So really fun to get through, and as a pirate, I do love gyms.
Yeah, it's true. He just loves it all the time. Yeah, ultimately, you have all the gems that you're collecting, and that's where the strategy comes in. Is like, what do I take? Do I reserve cards? Do I try and take the gems so that nobody else can get the gems themselves? There's just a lot of strategy to it as far as how you want to progress your game to better get the cards that count for the points, which ultimately, bring in the different visitors in the game. You need to just pick this game up. It's a lot of fun, a lot of strategy. So if you like that it's a more simplistic strategy game, which is nice. Like you said, you don't really have to think a lot on it, but it is still a lot of fun. So that is our number 10 pick, Splendor. All right, on to number 9. Man, I like this one. Okay, so he introduced me to this one. It's Boss Monster. Now, this, you can tell by the graphics here, the artwork, it's like going back into the game of Mario, or just any game that has like a dungeon where you have to get to the end, right? You're fighting against all of the minions, everything, getting to the boss at the end, hence Boss Monster. But instead of being the hero, you're not Mario this time.
No, you're Bowser.
You're straight up Bowser.
That's
so you
right.
get to be the boss monster at the end, but you're going to build your dungeon, which will attract different heroes. These heroes have to pass through your different levels of your dungeon, different traps, different special rooms that will enable you to ultimately defeat the heroes that are coming through or take a hit from them. So it's pretty fun.
Now, what's great about this is, you're all competing with your different dungeons as different bosses, so you all have different powers as different bosses. There'll be different heroes that come through with different powers, and you're trying to attract and compete for attracting certain types against each other. What you can also do is you can sabotage each other, so you can destroy one of their rooms, or you can get a really overpowered hero into their dungeon, because if they get hit too many times, they end up losing. So a lot of strategy involved, because you have to mix and match your rooms, order them correctly, sabotage each other, and try and, collect as many souls as possible. Really fun game, especially for anybody who remembers the old JRPG, mid-late 90s era.
Fantastic game. I love this game. And there's a lot of expansions as well, so it makes it even more fun. All right, brings us to number 8.
All right, which is 7 Wonders. Now, we just went over a game that I introduced to him. Let me introduce you to one that he introduced to me. A lot of introductions. 7 Wonders. Now, this is pretty cool. So, basically, you're starting a civilization from the ground up. Stones, spears. And what you build in the first part of your civilization, as your civilization evolves, allows you to build others. Are you going to invest in science? Are you going to invest in
Archiculture.
Archiculture.
Archiculture. Look that up. Google it.
Agriculture and architecture? Or are you going to, do anything mixing and matching? And then what you do, let's say about 1,000 years passes between each round. Something like that.
Yeah, it's like each era. They call it an era or an age. So.
And what it allows you to do is it allows you to try and build the better civilization than everybody else there. Now, you all start off, with a board of civilization, and then you pass the same cards around. And so it's kind of one of those where you take a card, pass it on, they take a card. So you have to be thinking about what they're building and not give them too much of a head start, but still building your own the way that you need it. Now, this one, I will warn you, the box says 10 and up. It's a very complicated game to get initially. This is one where if I hadn't had him explaining it to me, I would have been in the rule book more than I was playing the game. Once you get it, though, the rounds go pretty quickly. Everybody knows what they're doing, what they want. All in all, though, I probably enjoy this one a lot simply because of how much time I have to spend thinking about how am I going to build my civilization? Oh, but he's doing that, but I need to counter that. What's this good? And you get like 7 of you playing. It gets so insane and so fun so quickly. Definitely had a lot of fun with this one, especially over like guacamole or something.
Yeah, always throwing some food in there. It's great. But like you mentioned, you can play up to 7 players on this one. 7 wonders. It's the different wonders of the world, right? The original 7 wonders of the world. You're playing as one of them. And you have to battle against, as you said, different neighbor cities. Do you have to build up armies to protect yourself against them? Each of these things is going to bring you in victory points, but you have to think ahead, but also you don't want to get too in-depth into one thing, because sometimes getting involved in just one development, it doesn't win you the game. So really, it's a lot of just planning out how things are going, what you think you can do, can you pull in the most points, but ultimately, so much fun. This game is so much fun. This is actually probably my overall family's favorite game that we play together, because lots of people can play and we just sit around and play it. 30 minutes, it says that a round can go. We can do it in less. We've got it down to where we can just pick those cards, pass them, pick, and just go. It's lots of fun. So that is our number 8.
So, number 7.
Number 7. Okay, so Gibbs here thought I didn't know what this game was, and
I was sure he didn't.
Scotland Yard. I had actually been raised on this one. My dad loves this game, so he introduced me to this when I was just a kid. So I've been playing this since I was 6. Didn't really understand it at the time, but ultimately, you're in Scotland Yard, right? You're a detective among detectives, so it's a co-op game, but it's co-op versus 1. So you are a bunch of detectives trying to track down Mr. X. And Mr. X is just hidden in Scotland Yard. And he's going to be moving from one place to the other through taxis, buses, subways, all those different things. But you don't know where he is. And so you're ultimately trying to track him down by collectively moving your characters to different places and trying to corner him and eventually land on his space. That way you can catch him. And if you don't, he just slips away and he's like a master thief, basically.
Yep. I was introduced to this very young as well. I'd say probably around 5 or 6. My brothers and cousins loved this game. So we had the original tin, metal cased one. All the little pieces were metal. And I still remember to this day, my brother is probably the king of this game. He has about 12 different strategies that he'll use just to humiliate you. He doesn't want to win. He wants to show you that Mr. X is just more intelligent than
Patrick would.
Yeah, he would. I openly admit he's smarter than me to camera, but since none of you know who I am,
perfect.
It's not like there's a million Patricks. I remember one time when I was getting ready to play with you, I wanted a refresher because I was like, okay, I'm going to show Brady this really cool strategy game he's never even heard of. Because in my mind, Scotland Yard, I'm thinking this is like a UK game. Turns out not.
Just based there.
There's a New York version for people who don't even know what Scotland Yard is. Same game, different city. And so I played against Patrick, and I'm like, okay, Patrick, I want you to show me some pretty cool strategies. I'm gonna one up Brady here on our game night. And so what does Patrick do? He follows one space behind me as the detective the entire game. Trying to find him in this big city, getting really frustrated, thinking I found him, and he's just literally following me across the board, and I'm supposed to be chasing him. Smart kid. Anyway, fun game. I can't tell you how fun it is, especially when you get multiple people trying to chase the one, because you're all like discussing, okay, he could be taking a bus here, could be doing this, and when you're Mr. X, you're just sitting back laughing. It is so funny. Or if it's a rather intense game, you got some good opponents, you're sitting back sweating. So either way, I've never had a boring game. It is so much fun.
And you could delve into a lot of strategy on this one. It can take a long time or it can take a short time, just a matter of how long you want to discuss before you make your moves. So I really like it because I like to delve into the strategy of it. Where could he go? What are his possible moves? All that stuff.
Right. And if you don't like the people who take forever, like that person that you play chess against or play games against that literally wants to figure out the answers to the universe before they choose him. The original game used to come with an egg timer for a turn.
So I guess you could do that too, yes.
The technical original rules, 3 minutes is the max, but the egg timer I think was only 1.5 minutes. So you can establish that rule and keep it moving.
Yeah. Great game, which is why it is our number 7. Yes, we're on 7.
As you've seen our previous videos, we have trouble counting. Okay.
Number 6.
Clank. Now, this is one we've actually played on camera before. Link up above.
Yep.
To that video.
Yeah, it's over here. That link. That one.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a really fun game. Now, I believe I introduced this to you.
Yes.
My family picked this up quite a while ago, and it is so much fun. So essentially, you're competing thieves, and the town has some ruins on the outside of it. And they've said, there's some treasure in these ruins. We're going to pay the thieves to go get the treasure for us. You're a regular Bilbo Baggins. Awesome. Because complete in this giant castle, hoarding the treasure is, of course, a dragon.
Who knew?
So you're delving in, you're competing to get the treasure, and you're going against a dragon. Now you're trying not to wake him up. If you manage to not wake up the dragon and get your gold and get out, you're typically in pretty good standing, but the rest of them still have another turn to get out. It's a deck builder. For those of you who aren't familiar with that, if you watch our channel, you will be. We are deck builder fanboys.
We love them.
You start with a standard deck, and then you purchase more and more cards to go in that deck. And so as you are going through the deck and reshuffling it, you get to pull out newer and newer cards. It's a lot of fun because in that deck building, you're also competing against each other on just a whole other level. So not only are you maneuvering around this dungeon, you're also trying to avoid a dragon and trying to sabotage the other person. Person who makes the most noise has the most chance of getting hit by a dragon. So it's quite fun. Like I said, we've played it on camera, have a blast playing it.
Yeah, ultimately, this game is just, you get to be as sneaky as you possibly can, but you're not going to be able to escape the dragon. Everybody gets hit by the dragon at some point, multiple times, but it's like, do you delve deeper to get the better treasure, or do you stay on the surface and just try and collect a lot of treasure? That's where the strategy comes in, is like, how quickly do I want to do this? I mean, the last game we played, I think it was on camera, actually. So again, Link, he got out fast. And left me to die. And for 4 turns, I was like, how do I get out of here? But ultimately, it allowed me time to collect even more treasures before getting out. But I was so deep into that dungeon, it was so hard to get out. So strategy-wise, it's a lot of fun because, as you said, you're building your deck. You try to build that deck strategy-wise so that it works for you. But you also want to go down into the dungeon, but then you want to get out of the dungeon. And so it's like a timing game, and then how you build your deck. So lots of fun there. So that's why this is deemed our number 6.
Alrighty.
Brings us to number 7, and we both love this game. Are we at set 5? Again, counting.
Not
5.
our strong suit.
I'm counting up, and we're supposed to be counting down. Okay, Smallworld. We've actually never played. Have we played this together? Was it a while ago?
This was when we first got together.
Okay.
We played this a couple of times. I've been dying to play it since, and I've asked you a few times, but the group we're with, we always settle on a different game.
Yeah, so we will play this again because it's been a hot minute. But Smallworld, you are ultimately one of these mini races, right? You got dwarfs, giants, you got elves, you got witches, you got ghouls, you got hobbits. You got all sorts of different races, right? So you're going to choose a race, and you start, and you try and conquer different lands, and you get victory points accordingly. And then as you do that, you spread yourself too thin, and the other players will be taking you out. And then they claim your territories, and they get more victory points for doing that. And so it's okay, so I got to do this. And then you, at different times, you can be well, I'm going to go into extinction with this one and rise up another faction, right? So it's like all this stuff is happening. You have to decide when you're going to do it, what you're going to do, who you're going to start with. Are you going for like the giants who work better in the mountains? Are you going for the hobbits who work better in the fields? Like you have to really strategize, and it's based on like what factions actually come up when to choose to go to extinction and claim your next faction.
And it's really a lot of fun because one of my favorite things about this is it's a more lighthearted kind of goofy game, but the strategy is so much fun. I have a thing for hobbits, and no, it has nothing to do with my size. Everything you do. I have a soft spot in my heart for those guys. Also, I'm a huge Tolkien fan, so that does that. However, I remember I always started with them, and then I started to branch out the last few games that we did play about 7 years ago. Yeah. We need to play it again.
It's been a hot minute.
And I remember falling in love with the pixies or fairies.
There's both. So
okay.
I think the pixies probably.
Yeah, and but you got all this strategy involved, but you can't be too fixated on one. So you'll watch somebody just taking over with theirs, and you'll see the races coming up, and you'll go, which one is going to help me take over them when they spread themselves too thin? And so you've got to decide, like you said, when to put yours into extinction, but also when it's best to force somebody else into extinction. And I actually managed to win a couple of games because I figured out that little trick. So much fun. But yeah, this is definitely worthy of number 5.
There you have it.
Okay, so I guess that makes it number 4.
Yeah.
And okay.
That's on your side. He's going to bring us to number 4 here.
And Burgle Bros.
You don't need a really big game box to make it a good game.
Now, this is another one that I believe we have a video coming out on soon.
Yes.
If it's not already out. Yes. Very fun. Link will be up there. There?
Yeah, it's always over here.
Why never above me?
It just doesn't work up there. It works better over here. Anyway, Burgle Bros.
Burgle Bros. So, this one we've had a lot of fun with. When I say we've had a lot of fun with, let me explain something to you. We've never won. Not once.
I think I've played one game with like my brother-in-law, and we happened to win. I don't know how we did it, but like this game it's difficult.
So I've never won this game. It's still in my top. I love it that much. It's so much fun to play. That's when you know a game is fun to play, is whether or not you're winning, you're having a great time. So essentially, you are a bunch of thieves. But unlike Clank, you're professional thieves trying to steal from safes in a business sort of building, and the guards are walking around. They've got all of these security things, very, very, very Ocean's 11-esque. Each one of the thieves has different powers, and so you're trying to coordinate to get around all of these donut-eating guards and through all of these different security measures into the different safes and then get out. And I can't think of a single time we've gotten more than 2 saves.
Nope.
I don't think we've even gotten
not us. Save. For sure, not us.
No. That being said, I mean, there's 3 levels to the building, and so you'll jump up and down between them, trying to figure out how to do it. You'll blow open walls. You'll send out recon. I mean, just everything you can to try and strategize your way through it. Now, I got so desperate to win it once, I actually watched a YouTube guide on how to beat this game. Implemented everything in that 12-minute video and still lost the next 3 games. So it's a really fun game for any of you who just, if you have a group of friends that you know how to strategize and still have fun without getting too intense into it, great game to play.
As you said, cooperative game right here. You play together, unlike Clank. You were thieves. You're trying to get the best of the best, right? Burgle Bros here, you actually are working together. So if any of you are caught by those guards, game over, right? So like you said, you're cracking 3 safes, going to the 3 different floors, all sorts of security measures you have to surpass and finagle your way around, essentially, to get to these safes, and then crack the safe, get the loot, take it out. It's challenging.
It really is.
The guards get faster and they move more. The more that you set off alarms, the more that you have to go through their stack of like where they're going, all sorts of things. But there's so many different layouts, options you can do for each floor, things that make it even more challenging. And we've only done like pretty much the base one, and we still can't beat it. Yeah. So like really fun. And like we could play it for hours and probably still never win, but it would still be a ton of fun.
Right.
So great game, Burgle Bros, which brings us, well, that's why it's number 4 right there.
Number 4.
Number 4. It's up there.
Number 3.
Number 3. I introduced you to this game, I believe.
Did.
This is Climate Evolution, or Evolution Climate. So the original game is Evolution, but they've added the Climate version. There's another expansion. It's the Flight. So it's Evolution Flight. So you're adding the birds and everything. And then they've also come out with a new one. It's called Ocean. So it's the exact same thing, but obviously in the ocean. So ultimately, as you can tell, this woolly mammoth yak thing or whatever, during the Ice Age, essentially, in the Climate version, is you're going to be fluctuating from hot to cold. You don't know what the temperature is going to be like. So you're creating a creature, right? A different species. And you have to add different defensive traits, different like warmth traits. You have to have cooling traits. Maybe it's better at foraging. Maybe it's an actual carnivore. You don't know. Like, you're going to build your species the way that you want to be able to acclimate to the climate around it to get the most food. If there's not enough food, your species dies off and you have to restart again. But if you can get enough food, each food that you're able to consume with the population that you create gets you victory points. So there's a lot of ways of, do I get a lot more species and work together with those guys and hope that I bring in more food? But there's limited food. So you're fighting against all your other players that you're going against for the food, but ultimately with all of the species that you're creating. So do you stick with one? Do you stick with two? Do you go with three? Do you go bird? Do you go carnivore to eat the other species? Like, so many different options, but so much fun.
Now, one of the things I love about this is because you're competing, you're each, in control of a certain amount of the ecosystem. Now, as we know, we take out one thing from an ecosystem and everything goes haywire. You're all adding and taking away from ecosystems at the same time. It's always chaos, and so you're trying to build the best you can. And what's great is there's no one build that's going to be OP no matter what, because you don't know what they're going to do. Now, normally in a lot of games, you can have one strat that usually always wins for you. This one is exactly the opposite.
There's no strategy.
I have played with people who don't even understand how the game is being played and just happen to build the creature that wins that ecosystem that was created during that game. Likewise, I played against this guy when he beats us just incredibly quickly. I don't know how he does it. That being said, a lot of fun. Plus, you kind of get to play God a little bit and create creatures. So that's also a good fun part.
It's really fun. It's
like a Tamagotchi, only in board form.
Realistic form instead of digitized. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Which is why that is our number 3.
All right. Number 2. Dead of Winter.
Yes.
We're into the zombies. Now, this did not come out because of my love of Bruce Campbell and the Evil Dead series. Comment down below if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, don't. So, this is a zombie game. Now, for a while, I was on a huge zombie kick. Black Ops zombies on my PlayStation. I had, dressed up as zombies for Halloween. For whatever reason, The Walking Dead was on, during that whole time.
It's probably his lack of sleep. We don't know.
Probably. So during that, I became aware of this game. Now, for those of you who are wondering, I'm kind of cheap sometimes. So for about a year and a half, I was like, hey, you should get this game. Not because, I thought necessarily he'd love it, which I knew he would, because I really wanted to play it. Eventually, he relented, and he bought himself this game.
So glad I did.
Yeah,
so glad.
I'm so glad that he bought himself this game. And so we could play it, and it was every bit as much fun as I thought it would be. So essentially, you're a colony, all right? The zombie apocalypse has already happened. It's not like there's an event that makes it happen. You're already in the midst of it. You lost contact with society. You've got one small little colony. You control 2 or 3 characters. And in the colony, you all have different secret objectives and main objectives. So replayability, huge, but the secret objectives make you the ultimate winner of the colony within each other, and then the group objectives makes everybody the winner. Now, sometimes the secret objective is death to the colony. Make sure you're the only one that survives. Or
that
things
one's
of
tough.
that nature.
That one's really tough.
And so you're going out, you're exploring, you're trying to find goods, you're trying to find everything, and at the end of every round, you have to put the goods that you needed for that scenario, that round, face down in a pile. And then so nobody knows who's put what down. You shuffle it, and then you say, okay, we've got this much gas, we've got this much food, we've got this much of this resource. So if you're trying to sabotage, it becomes a game of BS, which is super fun. Because you'll be like, I'm putting down, 3 gas cans that I managed to pillage and find, and 2 of them are like garbage. And so it's just so much fun. And there's been games where it's like your secret objective is to make somebody else the head of the colony, and their secret objective was to be the head of the colony. But because they didn't make it on their own and you made it, you're the one that wins. So they'll flip over their secret objective and go, haha, I'm the head of the colony. At the very end of the game,
Haha! Actually, I made you the head of the colony.
actually, I'm the one in control, Bub. You're a puppet. And you become the winner. So it's super fun. You never know who has what scenario, what's going on. You could all be friends. And so you're like, I know there can be betrayers in this game. I say he's a betrayer. And so you go after him, and it turns out you were all just friends and you tore each other apart for no reason. So it's a real life situation.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into The Walking Dead, it's just the exact show right here in game form. Yeah, you just go out to different locations and you're looking for, like you said, food, gas, you need weapons, you need all sorts of different things, and you're controlling multiple characters. You're going out and doing these things, so when you do it, if you make too much noise, as we all know, zombies are attracted to noise, so it's gonna happen. So zombies are gonna come and attack you. It's not even just like the social aspect of you and the other players in this colony. It's you're still surviving against all these zombies. Like, there's the imminent threat of the zombies coming to take over this colony. So you got to be like killing zombies, but not making too much noise by killing zombies, but still going to different places. And if you don't go to different places, you're not going to be able to get your objectives or be able to win, because then more zombies will come. Like, so many different aspects that are going to be changing every time you play this game. So replayability, as he said, amazing. And I can't remember how many players you can play it with this. Says up to 5. So great game for, a smaller group, but still more than just the average 4, but so fun. Strategy in this, amazing, which is why it's deemed our number 2.
Alrighty.
Which brings us to number 1, which I'm really excited about. Okay, this one, I literally picked it up because of the artwork at first, and I will tell you straight up, I have never dreamed about any games ever. Like, not since probably playing Halo when I was like 10, right? The first time you play that, it's stuck in your head. But this game, after I played it the first time, I dreamed about it all night, that first night. It was amazing. So that brings us to our number 1, which is Spirit Island. This game is incredible. As deemed here, Spirit Island, you are one of the spirits on this island. You have natives that you're working with, but ultimately you are the spirit. You could be the rock spirit, the water spirit, the lightning spirit, fire spirit. So many different spirits, and there's expansions, so even more spirits. But you're working together, either solo or collectively, against these explorers that are coming to the island to take over. Now you've got to be able to take out those explorers to make sure that they're not causing blight on your land, reducing your power as a spirit on this island, and killing off your natives. You have to do all that while working together, while protecting the natives, while trying to extinguish their towns, destroy and invoke fear into all of them. There's so many moving parts in this. But the strategy behind it, it's like, who do you play as? Are you a combination of spirits that work well together? Are you just trying to invoke fear? Are you just trying to protect and then hopefully lash back? Like, so many options, because you're going to be coming up with different minor powers, major powers. Things are just going to be changing all the time.
Now, what's really fun about this game is it is co-op, which is nice because you'll be 2 of the spirits working together. However, the explorers that you mentioned, they're like colonists. They come and then they just start multiplying, cutting down all the trees, ruining the water, all of that sort of thing. So this is Moana in a box. And you're trying to fight back against this blight. What I found particularly interesting is, I remember the first time that I played it with you. You were just as excited as he was there. He's like, I got this new game. You've got to try it. You've got to try it. And I was like, okay, we'll try it. And we're just sitting there over dinner, just playing this game together. His wife's sitting on the couch laughing at us. And
per usual.
It's common. And I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I was half asleep. I had pulled like I think an 18-hour shift at work, and so I come back and he's got me playing this intense strategy game. Not the best game on lack of sleep. And so I'm like, sure, I'll be this forest wood spirit. Yeah, whatever. Okay, what do I do? And we're sitting there playing, and I remember within about 10 minutes, I was so invested in it. I didn't even remember I was tired. I was reading the rule book on his turn to try and figure out if I could do things. By the end of it, we actually won. And I remember you going, that's the first time I've been able to win. That's the first time I've been able to win. I got so invested in it so quickly that it surprised me. So phenomenal strategic game. And the strategy isn't, a lot of strategy games are strategy by base. One of the games that I suggested for this video that he will not do, but I'll give an honorable mention to, is a game called, in the United States, it's called Go. It's an Asian version of chess, from my understanding. Very, very big strategic, a lot like chess is, but the strategy is so mathematical that it puts most people to sleep. And it's one of those that you play over days if you can be allowed to. Whereas this one, I think we played it for a good hour and 15 minutes. And we normally play 2 or 3 games a night if we can get it in. And because we had spent so long on this one game, we couldn't play anything else that night. Like, it was time for bed. Kids got to go to bed. I got to get home and get some sleep myself. And so I was like, okay, great. What game are we playing? It's night? like
what the?
what happened? And that's how much this game just sucks you right in. It is so much fun.
Amazing game. So if you haven't even seen it, haven't heard of it, go pick it up. Honestly, you will not be disappointed. Like I said, I picked this up based on this very colorful, beautiful artwork, but I couldn't be more happy with that purchase. Probably one of the best purchases I've ever made as far as a game goes. Strategy-wise, it is amazing. So many changing parts in it, but like that is why we collectively have deemed this as our #1 pick. So there you have it. There are our top 10 favorite strategy games. And like I said, we've played a lot of games. There's a lot that are in there. Honorable mentions, of course, for Go and like other various games that we've played. But these are definitely our top 10 strategy-wise that really get you thinking, that really get you working together with other players, other friends, everything. So
this is great. Is there anything we got wrong here? Is there anything in here that's in your top 10 or wouldn't be, and why? Comment down below.
Please, we want to hear it.
Well, one, because we're always picking up games, so if you comment on something, we'll probably pick it up.
And maybe I'll just go pick it up and then tell you what I think too.
Yeah, it'll get that conversation going, because with everything going on right now, I think a lot of times we just need to come together. Games are a great way to do that.
Absolutely.
And so if you can comment down below, get this video out there, we can get more people playing more games, and we can grow this community.
It'll be awesome. So don't forget, if you like the video, like, subscribe, and hit that bell for the notifications for any future videos. And we will catch you on those videos next time on Game Night Cinema.
Bye.